Hello everyone, it's Bibi Cameron here, and today I'm going to be sharing ideas and inspiration using bright rosa stamps and dies designed by Paula Pascual for CraftStash. And CraftStash have online shops in the UK and in the USA. And all you have to do is to do a Google search to find your local online shop. Because I'm in the UK, when I do a Google search, the first thing I find is the UK shop. But of course, if you are in the USA, you will find your local shop. Once you are there, all you have to do is to type on the search box Bright Rosa, and you will be able to see all the supplies and the prices. So this is the American website. You will see the prices in dollars, and you will find products for as little as $4, $5, $6, $7. And those are the products I'm going to be using in this video. It happened the same on the British website. You can see the British website here. The prices are in pounds, and you will see that you can get these die sets from £4.80. For orders over £15, the delivery is free in the UK. And if you subscribe to the newsletter, you will get a 20% discount from your first order. So if you see here, these die sets are beautiful. It has these sentiments that will allow you to die cut your panels in many different ways, and you will be able to create the most easy, quick and effective cards for many different occasions. You will also get these die sets here that are designed to create interactive cards, but you can also create other card designs that I'm going to be sharing in another video. This die set here is one of my favorites at first sight. It's called Fern border, and it will cut the paper in a way that I have never seen before. To be honest, look at the size of this die. Oh my goodness. The larger leaf measures about 7 inches and the smaller measures 5 inches and a half. And this 7 pieces die set called a Snowflake border is on sale, and you won't believe me, the price is only £4.80. That's about $6. So if you go and visit this shop today, you will get a bargain. Even if you are a little bit late to make the cards for Christmas, you can still get them for next Christmas, and they are great value for money. So I'm going to be using today this die set here. It's called Christmas Words, and it includes 16 dies. The price, ridiculous, £7.20. So it's about $8 for these 16 dies. You get your sentiments, and you will also get all these dies here to die cut a frame around the sentiments. You can also use any of these dies for different projects. I'm not going to use them today. I'm only going to use the sentiments, and I'm also going to use Arteza watercolor paper. You can use any of the papers I have there. However, I found this to be more affordable. This is a beautiful paper. It is 300 grams and it has a beautiful texture. So I'm going to cut this paper at 4 inches and a quarter, and I'm going to score this piece of paper at 5 inches and a half, just to make a card base that measures 5 inches and a half by 4 inches and a quarter. This is a standard USA size, but you can make this larger if you want. So I'm going to trim here the excess of paper I cut there, and I'm going to keep every single piece of paper because I can use that for a banner or something else. Next, I'm going to place my die on the paper, and I'm going to secure the die to the paper using washi tape. But pay attention how I'm using that washi tape, and I'm sticking that tape in that area that is going to be cut off. If I use any kind of tape over the cotton paper like this one, it's just going to damage the paper. I also make sure that there is nothing on the paper like glitter or something that can create marks on the paper. And I like to use this brush here because it really allows me to get rid of anything on the paper. I'm going to align the plate of the die cutting machine with the scoring line to avoid creating a mark on the paper with the die cutting plate when I run this through the machine. And I'm going to run this through the machine twice. All this is done in real time, so I'm not speeding the camera. So you can see how easy and quick it is to do this. And this video is longer than I would like to because I'm going to do a lot of talking. And this is to share with you tips and also ideas I cannot share if I don't talk. So anyway, can you see that? This is just beautiful. I have to say that I can see myself making last minute Christmas cards with these dies. They are just stunning, very modern and very arty as well. Plus, they are very easy to use. They cut the paper like butter, as you can see there. This is very, very thick cardstock, and you can see the sharp lines these dies produce. With these dies, you can die cut the bottom of the panels, the center of the panel, the top of the panel, or you can also place them in a diagonal across the panel, and you can make something super fun. Another thing you can do is to combine two of these dies to create something like this. Super cool and super clever design. Although Bright Rosa is a new brand, people are loving these dies, and for me, the cards just with the die cut sentiment are good enough. So I don't think they need anything else. It's just a nice modern die cut card without anything else. But anyway, I'm going to show you how to die cut the word with the frame. So all you have to do to get this right is to make sure that the frame die is larger than the word die, and that you have enough space all around the sentiment or the word to cut the frame. So pay attention there on my die cutting plate, and you will see what I did. These dies also have a double stitched pattern. So when they cut the paper, you get the stitches on the frame and also on the panel you are die cutting. So here I have the card bases and panels I just made. Very quick and easy, and you can make these in different colors. You can stamp images all around these sentiments or also die cuts. These are top folding cards, but you can also create side folding cards. And you can also use these die cut with the frame to overlap on the die cut words on the panels, just to reinforce that area, to give it a little bit more strength. So I will advise to cut these card bases from a very, very thick cardstock or watercolor paper. And Bright Rosa also have another sentiments and the same design, not only for Christmas. So I'm going to add those supplies to the supply list in the video description, just for you to have a look. So I have this idea, and I was dreaming that I wanted to do some painting, like hand painting over the word, maybe a flower or something. But then I don't know, I changed my mind. I decided that I wanted to use these die set here to create a texture or something there. And when I was exploring this die set, I decided to make another card to share with you. And I'm going to use this long leaf that measures 7 inches. It's huge. So that I just made a card base using a sheet of watercolor paper, and I folded that piece of watercolor paper in half. I haven't cut this to the size. This small leaf here measures 5 inches and a half, and you can apply a partial die cutting technique to cut an edge if you wanted to. But then I want to use this large die here together with the border die. I also learned that when you are planning to do this, you have to leave the wider part of the card at the bottom so that the card will stand up when you put it in display. So that's what I'm going to do. And because this die is so large, and because I want this to be one layer card, I'm going to need to use a large format die cutting machine to cut the paper. I'm using here the Tangerine by Tonic Studios, but you can use any large format die cutting machine you have to do this. And once I finish die cutting, I just trim the card base to the size. So this measures 5 inches by 7 inches. Okay, when I was cutting the card bases out of the sheet of watercolor paper, I got left narrow pieces of cardstock that I'm going to be using to die cut elements for the cards. But before, I'm going to add some color to the paper using these Arteza watercolor paints, and I got this set during the Black Friday promo at only £9 plus free shipping. Arteza also have an online shop in the USA, and you can buy sometimes supplies at crazy prices there. I think the watercolor paints are in the average price right now. So sorry, I have a Facebook group and there I share promos when they become available, and I noticed because this was a bargain. £9 for 24 colors, just crazy. And the colors are vibrant, and I was just trying the paints there and I really like them. And of course, you can use any paint you have, but the idea I have for this was die cutting this panel using the bright Rosa dyes. So for this kind of projects, you don't need stamps or anything else, but some paints and the dyes. So that was a sample I wanted to share with you. And also I want to show you here how the watercolor paints can be incorporated to card making for beginners. So you can use any of the colors to add texture and color to watercolor paper, and then to be able to die cut this to create a special die cuts, not just flat die cuts, but die cuts with a lot of character. So I just grabbed here some of this green and some of this cobalt blue, and I just mix them with lots of water to create a nice green color. It's more bluish than green. Then I just apply this on the paper like so, and I want to leave some white spaces here. I don't mind to have this perfectly covered. I just want that texture. And I want to show you one of the techniques that I love the most when creating with watercolors. If you are a woman or if you have a wife of your sister, they might have this nail polish remover. So I'm going to apply a little bit of this on the watercolor palette, and with these cotton buds I'm going to, I don't know how to say that in English, I'm going to apply a little bit of the nail polish on the watercolor when it's still wet. So this is going to distress the watercolor. This is super cool to create effects on, for example, under the sea scenes, fish, mermaids, or that kind of compositions, but you can also use these for flowers, or well, with a little bit of creativity you will be able to use nail polish on your watercolor compositions. So there you go, an extra tip in this video. So I just wanted to do this to show you how to create that pattern, and if you see there is a lot of texture and granulation on the paper as well. This is Arteza watercolor paper, and to add even more texture I want to add this salt. This is the salt I use for cooking. There is not a special salt. I noticed that using those big chunks of salt, it doesn't work. You have to do this when the paint is still wet. So I'm going to allow this to dry, and while that happens I'm going to have a coffee and then I come back. Okay, so here I applied the salt when this was too dry, so I didn't got a lot of texture there. And in this small piece here, I applied the salt when the paper was very wet, and you can see that I got the texture, so I really like that. So I applied the salt before I applied the nail polish remover. Okay, so you can see that pattern there. And the next thing I did was applying this Arteza metallic wash. This is gold, and I'm just going to mix this paint with a little bit of water, and I'm going to splatter that gold paint over the paper as well. I like to place the brush, and then with something I like to tap on top of the brush so that I get more rounded little splatters. So that's something I also discovered after doing all kind of splatters. I like to do it this way. So after doing that, I also splatter white paint. You can splatter any paint you want, and this will overlap and create kind of nice texture on the paper as well. This is super simple, it's relaxing to do, and I made this later on in many different colors to create another card that I'm going to be showing you next week. So okay, I'm ready to die cut this paper and to put together some cards. And for the next card, I just added a couple of die cuts. I stamped a sentiment, and inside the card, I added a panel in this brick red paper by Tonic Studios, and I just added Nuvo drops to embellish this and sequins. Off camera, I also added gold sequins, and I also hand painted the lips in the card next to this one. I really didn't know what I was doing there. I was just kind of experimenting, and I'm terrible at drawing or things like that. I need a stamp or I need to trace the image to be able to make it. So anyways, I wanted to share that card idea with you as well. And to finish, I just want to show you briefly this Snowflake die set that is in promo on the CraftStash shop, and you will be able to cut 4 snowflakes designs. And to give them a sparkling look and feel, I also splattered this using a Nuvo shimmer pen. So this is the card I made using those snowflakes, and also one of the panels I cut at the beginning of the video. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel or visit my blog for more ideas and inspiration. Thank you very much for watching, and happy crafting. Bye!